like, what is with all of the stickers everywhere? Gold foil, the vellum, the matte, the glossy, like what is going on? Hey friends, and welcome back to my little corner of the internet. So today's video, I'm going to be talking about what I've learned so far in the planner community since I've kind of dove into this about 2 weeks ago, and I decided to go ahead and get a new agenda and just looking into what might work for me. And I found out that there's a lot of other people who are also planning out their lives in 1, 3, 10 planners, and they're also talking about it a lot on social media. So I'm just going to be talking about everything I've learned there. So if you're new to the community, you can maybe see a little bit of what's out there and what might be different from how you plan. So first thing I learned, obviously, is the fact that there's even a planner community. So I thought that pretty much everyone lived their lives going to Walmart or Target. They picked up the agenda they liked under $15, had horizontal weekly view, and that's what you rolled with. And there didn't really have to be discussion, but I didn't realize there were so many people who are vertical planners, the people who talk about planning, and that having like a layout and making it kind of this arts and crafts like hobby was such a common thing. I figured everyone was just as utilitarian with their planning as I was, where it was just me and a ballpoint, or now like my Pilot G2 pen and paper, and thickness of paper wasn't even a worry. I mean, it just was what it was, and that was the end of it. So even finding this community has been like really crazy for me. The second thing I've learned from the planner community is the fact that people use stickers, and a lot of them. I mean, like, what is with all of the stickers everywhere? Gold foil, the vellum, the matte, the glossy, like what is going on? Like, I had no idea that people use stickers like at all. I think I've had stickers come with a wall calendar that I got once, and it was basically a wall calendar full of puns, and it had like a few that was like birthday, first day of school, winter break, but like there are so many different kinds, and it's even more serious than I thought when I first dove into it. Now, I'm not like judging anybody who uses stickers or any kind of fluff stuff, embellishments in their planner, but it was just something that was really new to me because I'm very much like paper and pen, like do the thing and let's go. Like, this is just a book that tells me what I need to do and when, and that's its main function. Kind of finding out about those stickers is really interesting because now I can have like ideas of ways to make it like look super cutesy, but I'm still very functional with them. Like, if it's not kawaii and functional, I really don't want to talk, which is why I stuck with shops like Once More with Love, the Coffee Monsters Co. There's like a whole list of them that I've actually looked into that have like the aesthetic I'm looking to add to my agenda with just as much like functionality as just using the paper and pen. So if you want to see a list of those companies I've been looking into, some that I've ordered from and some that I have things in my cart from, you can go ahead and comment below and I'll let you know which shops those are. So the third thing that I've learned about the planning community, but also like planning in general, is that there are a number of companies you could shop at. So like I said before in like previous videos, I would always just go to Target, Walmart, Ross and TJ Maxx were great places to get one for really cheap that were still really cute, because I know they would all definitely have like their own store brands, but also like Blue Sky. I've tried Day Designer and those in-store lines, and I just didn't really feel the need to, and more so I didn't know there were other companies you could go to, because one reason I decided to kind of try to explore was the fact that I was using more gel pens and then sometimes markers, and then there would be a lot of bleed through, and then I realized sometimes things weren't quite organized as I wanted them to be, because I was just like pouring out all of my thoughts of things to do for school, for home, for maybe for work, that were all just going into the agenda, and then it kind of just looked messy, and I thought that maybe there's like a better way to do this. I figured someone had to have had a better way, so I decided to look into it, and looking into planner companies has been wild because there's so many. Like, if you just Google an agenda like on Amazon, you'll find a few companies that sell on there. If you just Google, which is how I look out into it, I Googled how like places I can get an agenda that's customizable for what I want, because I figured it's got to be out there. And then I led to YouTube, and then the video talking about all of these groups like Erin Condren, which I use now, Plum Paper, which is really highly customizable for each page. Same with Golden Coil. There was Lime Life, Passion Planner. Like, there were so many. It was almost a lot, like almost too much. But for me, it kind of was easy to cut through like a lot of the noise, because I knew a non-negotiable for me was I could not do like bound books. Even like this notebook I have, I pretty much only use this for journaling or just when I come up with content for these videos. I can't use that for planning. Like, it's got to be on rings or discs. Even discs is new to me, but it had to be some kind of bound system where I could flip it over on itself and just read it flat. So that made it easier for me to sort through them. If you're looking for ways to kind of just cut through all of these companies and design and layouts, I would suggest just thinking about how you plan and exploring that way, and definitely visiting a store. So if they have any of these in store, definitely going to look to see what's actually out there, because even if that's not the brand you stick with the particular layout, you can at least eliminate, okay, this is what feels right, this is what doesn't. Another thing I learned through looking at all these agenda companies is the fact that you could customize them. I assumed that most would just come with, these are the blank pages, this is the line pages, this is how we do our weekly, and that's it. That's the end of the day, that's done. But there's so many, like with Plum Paper, you can pick different like rows. If you want a row for where you list your priorities and a row where you list for your to-dos, but then it's still a weekly layout. There's others where you can put, I know with like Golden Coil, you can put like the list of your classes, each have a column, and so you can just every class and then maybe like a work column, and then that's how you handle it. So that's been really awesome to find that you don't have to just stick with what works for the masses. You can definitely find something that works for you. Another great thing about all of these planners is the fact that some are very affordable and some might not be, especially if you're a student like me. I mean, you can get things from like Erin Condren or Passion Planner for like $30, and that's not even including like sales and coupons that you might find from other people who are like affiliated with these companies. Or you could go as much as like $80. I saw, I think, with Plum Paper, where if you choose like the maximum customizations for every single page, writing your name in certain class subjects, adding extra notes pages, so it just kind of like runs the gamut of like options where you can definitely decide to be on the conservative side, save a bit of money, and go with one main planner layout that company sells. Or you could just go all out and decide that you want it to work exactly the way you want it to work for you, how you plan out your days, and that's that. And it could be super simple or super complicated, so definitely working with all of these companies is something that can work for pretty much anyone. The fourth thing that I learned about the planning community is the fact that there is a whole genre of planning supplies and planning accessories. I mean, I figured everyone just had a pencil pouch that they put their pens in, their highlighters, their erasers, maybe you've got like a whiteout runner, and like that was the end of the day. But there's so many pouches like that you can attach like to the front of your planner that will have your pencils in it. There's some that will fit smaller notebooks on the front of your planner. There's the clip-in dashboards. I've seen clip-in bookmarks because that's what always came with the free agendas you got in like elementary school. But these kinds are not cheap. Like, I mean, they might be cheap in cost, but they're not going to break tomorrow like the elementary school ones would. There's so many different options for accessories. I mean, I've even seen travel scissors, especially for people who use washi tape, and maybe stickers that you're cutting up into pieces just because you want to use like only a half of like the to-do list, or half of like those long ones that work a lot for vertical layouts. And I mean, it's just been wild because I didn't own half these things. I mean, I still don't, just because I don't travel with cutting scissors. The only thing I caved in and bought was a glue runner. It's kind of like the whiteout tape that you can use, except it's a strip of glue and it's got a roll in there, and you can just roll the glue on where you need it, because I use double-sided tape fairly often, whether it's for like certain craft projects or sending mail. I'll like just glue down like the flap, and I bought it like a week ago and I've used it even more than I thought I would. It's just such a clean way to use glue, and I don't know, I love it. It's like not messy. If you want to see what kind I use, I'll put that in the description also, so you can look into that. Bought it off Amazon for pretty cheap, but you can find it at Joann's, probably at Walmart and Target and anywhere you can get your crafting supplies. So if you want to see that and maybe some other planner accessories and supplies that I use, go ahead and comment below planner accessories, and I'll maybe make another video or just let you guys know exactly what my favorites are. Since I don't go all out with all of the accessories, at least not currently, there's just a few things I know that when I do put my agenda out, I want to make sure I have those next to me so they're handy and I'm not looking all over the place, and it just makes planning super quick and easy for me. So the fifth thing I've learned, and maybe the most shocking about planning, is the fact that not everybody uses a planner just to plan. Not everyone's just putting in their homework or when they go to work or maybe certain other extracurriculars or events they have to go to. A lot of people use an agenda for memory keeping. I've seen so many videos about how people use vertical layout, because I'm a horizontal planner, so vertical kind of doesn't make sense to me. So I've looked it up because I'm how are people actually using that layout? And it turns out even for horizontal planners, vertical dashboard, a lot of people use them for memory keeping. And by memory keeping, I think the most relatable thing that most people understand is scrapbooking. So it's kind of scrapbooking, except maybe you're putting less puffy stickers and ribbon and maybe less thicker embellishments for the paper, because if it's not on a very large ring, if your planner's not on a really big ring, then it'll get this high and then it won't even fit anymore. But a lot of people will just use a bunch of stickers and then maybe write what happened in their day, or use that glue runner and tape in a picture from what happened that day from a Polaroid shot, or just a quick explanation of whatever they were feeling, whether it was really happy or maybe not that great. And that was super new to me, and I think a really cool idea, because I'm one person who does not stick with scrapbooking and memory keeping. I don't really do that, especially since we're all still quarantining. Nothing is happening. I'd be memory keeping the Netflix show I watched today. But it's really awesome because you kind of have a way of just saying what happened on each day. It's something that anyone can look back at any time. And I think that is really awesome to share and just something to look back at. So since you're still watching and enjoying this video, be sure to comment below with what you love about planning or about the planner community, or maybe even how you plan and how it might be a little bit different or a lot of the same of what you're seeing on social media. And thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.